Boop. Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, October the 14th, 2021. Today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 104, 1 through 9, and then 24 and 35. I don't know why. That's just the way they laid it out. Job 36, 1 through 16, Romans 15, 7 through 13, or you could have read Psalm 91, 9 through 16, Genesis 14, 17 through 24, and then Romans 15, 7 through 13. And I'm going to take a look at the text from Genesis and talk about I guess a tale of two cities, Salem and Sodom. The story is that we got today. This part of it is that as Abraham is returning from taking care of business with Chedorlaomer and his buds, so there was and by doing this, he had actually done a real service for the neighboring kings, like the king of Salem and Sodom and even Gomorrah. And like many other kings, because Chedorlaomer, he was kind of like a would-be emperor. I guess maybe he thought of it. He's really probably just a fancied up warlord, but he had kind of taken control of the area, right, and was forcing these kings to like pay him tithes and things like that. And just in return for their existence, I guess. Kind of like, hey, that's a really nice wall around your city. It'd be a shame if somebody laid siege to it. And so they would pay him money so he wouldn't do stuff like that. Well, they got tired of it. They'd had enough of him, so they revolted. But old CD wasn't having any of that. So he and his bud kings who were still on his side, they went and they attacked all these other cities. But his mistake was that when he attacked Sodom, that he took Abraham's nephew Lot. You remember Abraham's nephew Lot? I think a lot of them. Anyway, when he not only just laid waste to Sodom and looted it, but he also took Lot and Lot's household captive and possession. And so Abraham finds out about that and is like, oh no, he didn't. And then so that means Abraham goes on the warpath. And so you cut to an image of like Abraham putting on battle armor and stuff like that. Not really. I think he just grabbed his shiny pointy knife and went crazy. Anyway, so Abraham goes on the warpath and he whips up on old Cheddarhead, and his boys, but it's like really like big time. Like he shows them what it's like to have their cities looted for a change. And then on his way back home, he's met by these two kings. He was met by Melchizedek, the king of Salem. We've talked about him before. He's the guy that gets mentioned in Hebrews a lot. And then, so anyway, Melchizedek's cool because he thinks like Abraham. And a matter of fact, he even worships the same God as Abraham. It tells us here that he was a high priest of God. And so when he comes out of the city, the first thing he does is offers praises to God and offers praises to God for what he has done through Abraham, what he allowed Abraham to accomplish. Offers thanks God for blessing Abraham with the victory. And that's pretty like he and Abraham get to, they get along. They think about the same God the same way, right? And so Abraham's response to this is to give Melchizedek a tenth of everything that he took from Chedorlaomer. And so, yeah, they're buds. They get along really well. And then the king of Sodom, who apparently, if you read before this, spent the war stuck in a tar pit with the king of Gomorrah. We don't get it. Matter of fact, we don't even get his name. Like, we're not given a name about him. We're just like, yeah, he's the king of Sodom. He comes out and he just makes a demand about what he wants and what Abraham can have. And he's like, you give me this, and you can keep that. No, thanks for saving my rear end and pulling it out of the fiery tar pit kind of thing. And Abraham's response, he just sort of throws it back in his face and says, I take what God gives me, like Mel's blessing over here. And you're not going to tell anyone. I'm not going to take anything and keep this because you can just have it all because you're not going to go around telling people you made Abraham rich or you made Abraham wealthy when all the things I have are blessings from God, just like Melchizedek said over here. That's the kind of guy Abraham was. That's the kind of guy that this nameless king of Sodom was. You know, kind of selfish, kind of focused on what was in it for him, but more about Sodom later. That's a story for another time. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Get out, enjoy the day. We'll be back tomorrow. Huggins will be here with the DBR for you. Talk to you later. Boop.